Let's see, Mike. Or
Mike is
Carl?
not coming, or, so it's, so
Yeah.
whoever's there,
We're
that's
here.
it. Yeah,
We're here.
that's all she wrote.
Are we on,
Yep, we're going.
all right, and then I would welcome everybody to the December meeting of, Town of Pine Plains zoning board of appeals meeting. We have one application before us.
Seems like you've been sick too.
I don't know, I get this hoarseness, I don't know why. I feel fine. It's for a variance for, shed because we have an unusual lot. Everybody get a chance to, I mean, it's not, you didn't even have to pull in the driveway, you could see it when.
Yeah.
Although I did you notice a couple people just sort of pull in, pull out?
No,
Right
no.
at 5, right at 4
the
o'clock.
garage is right there. I don't know
Yeah,
what it's
okay.
saying.
I was there a little earlier. I couldn't make 4, so I went
Yeah.
like 3:30.
Yeah.
Right after everyone got off the bus.
I'm wondering, I'm not seeing any neighbors, so there may not be.
There were some here last time. Two of them, I think. The guy that lives on this side of the road.
Mhm.
And he was joking. He goes, "You're my neighbor." I said, "Yeah, couldn't keep me from getting my shed." He goes,
Yeah.
"No."
So I guess I should also, for the record, and since it's being recorded, say that we would open the public hearing for the Rennie application. It's for a shed for a piece of property. It's actually right almost across the street from the town hall here. And see if there are, we would let the, I don't know who says this or who does this, or should either can be you or it can be me. But it's actually to place a storage shed correctly.
Mhm.
And the dimensions, I believe, are 10 by 20.
Yes.
Did we ever get a picture?
Oh, God.
Well, picture the actual,
Yeah,
it's gonna look kind of like this.
okay, yeah.
Very similar to your house colors, the gray, the
Oh,
white.
yeah. No chartreuse or magenta.
And, all right, I see Hammertown Road. And so 199 be the, what word? The way that this is in ordinance, if anybody wanted to look it up, it was page 16. In the zoning law, it's about corner lots and through lots, and you end up with, because you have frontage on both, you end up with 2 front yards. I believe in, Ed, we look for the code enforcement officer to make sure that we're in line with our understanding, but at this point, with you being new, we'll try to help each other out, I guess is what it comes down to. But so at this point, in this district, which I believe is a rural district, is that correct? The front yard setback would normally be 75 feet. And so because we have a lot that I looked at, the maximum, it's about 145 feet on the west end. On the east end, it's only 75 feet, so just because of the configuration of the lot, it's impossible to meet the standards.
Yeah.
And as far as placing a shed, people can see what it looks like. I did not see any great difficulty, and I didn't know if anybody else wanted to express any concerns. I'm not seeing anyone here from the public. We apparently don't have anybody on Zoom.
I didn't get anything in writing.
So we've given the public the opportunity to speak. It was a properly advertised public hearing. Other than I just said that when I look at it, I didn't see any big issues. Again, it's just a weird shaped lot that was created prior to zoning, so you can never, when you write a zoning law, take into consideration of all the things that are already out there. So that's why the zoning board of appeals exists. So if nobody else has anything else to add, as part of the public hearing, I have a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion with that? If not, all in favor will say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? I hear none. So I always draft these and many of them, or sometimes they have to be altered depending upon concerns of the neighbors, since there weren't any concerns that were raised. Group writing is always a task that none of us enjoy. And so I always take the first crack at it, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but so let me start. This was my first crack. The Town of Pine Plains Zoning Board of Appeals is hereby in receipt of a variance from, you'll fill in proper names here, for property located at the intersection of Hammertown Road and Route 199, address 14 Hammertown Road, is that correct? No, 7. 7 Hammertown Road.
17.
Oh, 17, okay, sorry. Town of Pine Plains, I do believe I have the proper tax ID number, but I'll ask you to check that. To allow construction of a 10-foot by 20-foot storage shed with less than the required 75-foot setbacks for both front and rear yards and a height not to exceed. That's a question. I would say that we're probably pretty safe with 12 feet. Doesn't look like there's any. The Zoning Board of Appeals has reviewed the subject variance request submitted by the name. After review of the application, including review of the town habitat map, I did take a look at that. The site inspection, a legally noticed public hearing held today. The proposed action is a type 2 action under seeker and by law is not considered to have a significant impact on the environment, and no further environmental review is required. And whereas Dutchess County does not deem this action to be a matter, or does deem this this action to be a matter of local concern, we kind of have a blanket agreement for this is for Ed, for area variances. The county basically doesn't, they say it's your job to do that, as opposed to making us go and contact them and wait 30 days for them to reply and things like that. I think the only place where that's not true is in commercial stuff, but residential stuff is illegal. Whereas the existing lot is shallow and a unique configuration, having road frontage on 2 sides of the lot with a total depth of between 145 and 75 feet, making the construction of the proposed shed within the required 75-foot front and rear yard setbacks impossible. And whereas the town finds that maintaining the whereas the board finds that maintaining the 75-foot front and rear yards is impossible based upon the lot configuration, which therefore creates a hardship that would preclude the construction of the storage shed. And whereas the variance request is not substantial for the neighborhood and the proposed storage shed will not adversely affect the character of the neighborhood or neighboring homes. And whereas this lot was created prior to the adoption of the zoning law, and hence any hardship was not self-created. Now therefore be it resolved that based upon the preceding findings, the Zoning Board of Appeals of the Town of Pine Plains hereby grants, I always write this thing with a little latitude in case we have to. The application for a variance to the requirements found in the Schedule of Bulk Regulations, Table B, allowing the proposed storage shed to be installed with a front yard setback from New York State Route 199 of not less than 50 feet. Which, if I'm reading this correctly, that's what you've requested. And a rear yard setback of not less than 50 feet. Other people should make sure I'm doing this right.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which is the rear yard would be from Hammertown Road. And a height of not more than 12 feet And I think that we can go with a period there. I'm not feeling that anyone raised any concerns, so there's probably no conditions.
No.
And if that is an acceptable draft, is there, well, before I say that, are there any things that people think that we need to change on that?
Well,
Okay, if that sounds acceptable, is there someone who would make a motion to pass this resolution?
I move to pass this resolution.
Okay. Is there a second?
Sure.
And we have Maria's a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor will say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? I hear none. It should be squared away.
Next.
You're right.
Our only other item on the agenda, as far as I know, is just the minutes from the last meeting. I did get an opportunity to read them. I don't know if everybody did or not. You can take that. Actually, we would like to have a copy of that for the file. I think.
You sure?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
Is there a motion to approve last month's minutes?
Yes, I'll make it.
Okay, and we have a second from Amanda.
I
or-
wasn't here.
Should I?
Oh, that's right.
I'll second.
Okay. I was here, so the three of us can vote. Is everybody in favor? Will say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? I hear none and one abstention.
One, yep, I'm here.
And Ed, we love meetings like this.
See, past my bed tonight.
And it's our first
Yeah,
time, we
fine.
can really talk.
Yeah, close.
Yeah.